Quantum computing is no longer a dream, guys. It's happening right now. And today we're breaking down Rigetti Computing's latest moves in this super volatile market we're seeing today. Are they leaving any room for gains in this quantum computing bull run? Let's see what happens, guys. I'm really thinking that there is room to run, even though we see this widespread sell-off. Now, in my quantum AI stocks, you got this it's kind of weird because every single day today, these have all been green. Or every single day this week, these have all been green. But what we see here is we saw some sell-offs today. We saw quite a few stocks in the overall market sell off. Look at the overall market SPY down about 1.37%. So everything kind of selling off today, but there was a few outliers. We see Rigetti here, we got EOS, and we got Qubits, QBTS, so quantum computing still staying in the green a little bit there. Now, today, I was looking at Rigetti's dip because we were trading in our live session in StockMate this morning, as we do every day at Market Open. And I was looking at this dip today right at Market Open here, right around 635. I ended up getting in over here on Ionic stock. So I waited for that push up. I got in here Ionic stock, and then it continued to push up, but the overall market is bringing everything down. So basically, quantum computing is only down a little bit here. Some of them are up. I think the average probably still probably negative about 1% across all the quantum computing stocks. But you see, right now I'm just hovering on this position here. So we'll see what happens. I think at one point I was up around $300, and I'm actually going to be holding it throughout the day, and we'll see how it goes here on IONQ. IONQ and Rigetti stock, right? There's three things we look at with the stock. There is the market, there is the analysis, and there is the profit plan, what we see. The market is that Rigetti stock and IONQ stock are being used by Amazon. You could go on Amazon AWS, so you could see that they're being used. You could go on to Microsoft and see that both these companies, these quantum computing companies, are available to use not GPUs. They don't call them GPUs. They call them QPUs, quantum processing units, that you can tap into in the cloud to be able to utilize this quantum computing power at Amazon and Microsoft through this company, Rigetti. Now, Rigetti is invested in by a lot of big companies. You got State Street, of course. You got some of the big institutions, but you also got NVIDIA investing heavily in Rigetti as well. So Rigetti, we've been covering it for the past few weeks, and we've seen that this push up recently from $10.70 to almost $20. I literally released a video, I think it was yesterday, no, it was the day before yesterday, that said Rigetti would reach $20. And everybody was looking at this stock and saying, this is going to sell off. What do you mean, Will? This is obviously going to sell off. Look at this. How could it possibly continue up? And guys, I mean, simply put, there's a lot of ways to look at stocks, and everybody has their own way of looking at it. A lot of people saw this right here and they said, it's going to sell back down. But this was artificial Fed announcement sell-offs. And if you discount some of that, you look here and you look at the trend, it's quite consistent. And we are actually at a support right here, not at a top. And that's right where we started to see it just absolutely explode. So it's still up 14% today. Every single day at Market Open, it's sold off a little bit after being up pre-market. So that's just a pattern that we've been trading inside of StockMate that I would encourage you guys to at least take a look at, right? Rigetti every single day at Market Open, that is. It's always doing this, sells off right at Market Open. We could look right here. Set Market Open the other day. Yeah, Market Open the other day. Sold off like 3% before rallying 20%. And same thing here, 6:30 a.m. sold off before continue up. And those are the moves we've really been playing. Okay, so Rigetti stock technical analysis. There's a few things that you might look at. Now we look at this and we are starting to look a little overextended. We are starting to look like, hey, now you can see if you even play that prior trend that we were looking at, and that's current price. now it looks like, okay, now maybe we see it start to sell back down. Now, when we look more on, let's say, 4 hour, kind of take a look. This is something that is really key to understand about the stock. Outside of the news and all the reasons that it could just absolutely continue up, there is potential for this near term considerable pullback. And I don't mean that, yes, we had a little bit of a pullback today. You can see some of these stocks down from the overall market. I actually mean independently inside of Rigetti is that there is a liquidity thing here where we could see big institutions get in and that could change things, but we already have some big institutions in right now, and what you might see is some sort of liquidity sweep. And I don't want to scare anybody, but this almost always happens. I mean, you might like take, for example, this is like a shorter term way to look at it. Imagine you closed or let's say you got in here and you were holding this Rigetti stock and you had a stop loss set that was at $15 and you're like, yeah, like I'll have time to react. Look at this. Boom. Within like not even 2 minutes, the stock dropped to $15 and then shot back up. Now, I don't even know that it'll be that quick. It might be a little more drawn out, but I could imagine that we could see some sell-offs here and, some stop loss hits, some fear in some of the more shorter term retail investors. And the longer term fear, if you're holding, great, you'll be okay. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a lot of people are holding for the long term, and that's like majority. But oftentimes in stocks like this, there's a large minority of institutional investors, you could say, that do like to sell off or not necessarily manipulate the price entirely, but definitely, maybe make other investors question the confidence to drive the price a little bit lower or hit some stop losses. And that's something that I do look at. And some people say, well, that's a little extremist way to look at the stock market. But I mean, look, guys, the stock market it's not open. It opens at 9 a.m. It closes at 4, right? It's we're talking about something that has the biggest institution investors investing in it, and there's a lot of planning that goes into this and a lot of money that influences these markets. And I think that that's something that every investor should at least look out for if they're short to near term. Long term, don't worry about it too much. It oftentimes will catch up in value. So let's look at the news. A lot of people saying Rigetti stock is maybe not as dominant or having as much growth as what I'm saying in the videos it does have, and how much we're going to see. We look at the chart, looking at the chart just one more time. Again, it's probably going to sell off some. I don't know that it's going to sell all the way to the support, but I'm definitely looking at that now it's starting to consolidate, really push around this rising resistance. And I would imagine we could potentially literally see a sell-off down to 430, 445, or even this previous resistance here now at 1280. You guys might just consider that as an opportunity that you might that might present itself sometime into next week, probably early next week. Okay, so Rigetti news. There's this recent article on the 23rd. They launched the 84-qubit Anchus 3 system and achieved a 99.5% median 2-qubit gate fidelity milestone. So what I want to do here is I'd really like to just comment here, and I want to say, like, put this in terms a fourth grader can understand, okay? And actually get to a point where we look at this, and if you're not super into these are great articles for the very, very, very deep tech people that understand. But let's just take a look. All right. This is what the article says. Anka 3 features a broad hardware redesign, enabling superior performance enhancements across the technology stack, included cryogenic hardware design, an overhaul of qubit circuit layout, precise qubit frequency targeting with alternating bias assisting annealing, and flexible gate. Put this in term a fourth grader. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. This is what ChatGPT basically says. Hey, here's what's going on here. Rigetti Computing has created a new super powerful computer called the Anka 3 with 84 quantum bits or qubits, which are like tiny switches that help the computer solve really hard problems super fast. Okay. They've made big improvements to how this computer works, like redesigning its freezer, which keeps the qubits really cold in order to work properly. So now they have a new system that makes it so that it doesn't overheat or maybe be as inefficient. It can be more efficient. Organizing the qubits in a smarter way and using a trick called alternating bias assisted annealing to make them even more precise. Plus, they've upgraded how the computer connects its switches, so it now works better than ever with super high accuracy 99.5% of the time. In simple terms, it's like upgrading every part of a race car: its engine, its tires, its steering, so it's faster, smoother, and can win more races. Hey, I like it. There's 3 key things that ChatGPT says. New hardware, so they made the machine parts better, so it runs smoothly. Smarter qubits, precise tuning, so you can perfect frequency to work their best, kind of like tuning a guitar. All right, that's great. So why is that important and why? Well, this is the main thing. Hey guys, we can tell that they are continuing to grow. That was, what is that, 4 days ago? We can tell they're continuing to innovate. Quantum Machines and Rigetti announced successful AI-powered calibration of quantum computer. Okay, so now they're plugging in AI and calibrating it with their quantum computer. All right, so these are things that show that they're continually improving. And those are things you like to see, right? And not only that, it means that as massive problems start to come up with AI, or let's say that there's a really hard problem they're trying to solve that is not even, ChatGPT can't solve it, or it's just taking too much processing power. It's taking a massive load from a data center, and they run it through this quantum computer, and hey, it's going to be more efficient than an entire data center of GPUs. Is that possible at some point? Yeah, that could happen, and that's what they're working towards. So that would mean basically more efficiency with less power used, but even faster execution for you to solve problems. And that's something that is tremendous, and they're going to train it right now. If we go over to AWS, but that's all great, right? But if you look at AWS, this is where it actually gets more interesting, right? AWS, guys, is where Robinhood is hosted. It's where Netflix is hosted. All these big companies, they have to process their data. You can see it everywhere that they have to have PDFs, they have to have web pages, they have to store images. A lot of companies use AWS, and a lot of companies are using now AWS's Bracket. Okay, so the quantum computing service of Amazon Web Services enables customers to design and run quantum algorithms and explore applications of quantum computing. So Amazon provides access to a variety of quantum hardware through the cloud. Bracket's mission is to reduce technology risk for its customers by lowering the barriers to entry to explore quantum computing through a single consistent interface with pay-as-you-go pricing. In other words, hey, you want to use a quantum computer and have all the processing power? Get on the cloud here. You can, run your data sets through it. You can, code with it. You want to, build a large language model, or you want to try and run a massive amount of processing power just to test it out and see how more efficient you can get, or things like that, right? This is a really big breakthrough. And I know that some of you guys might say, it's so technical, Will, like, I don't know about this. Just know that Rigetti, partnering with AWS and then also partnering with Microsoft to be able to showcase the power of this quantum computer means that Amazon could buy them, Microsoft could buy them. You might see huge investments. I mean, this is an investment in the company from Amazon, from Nvidia, from Microsoft, indirectly in some way, just by allowing this Rigetti Anka 2 superconducting device to be there, right? So it's absolutely amazing to see. Okay, so outside of that news, it's really good. We went over the financials a lot in the past week, so you guys might remember, but essentially, just to brush it up, Rigetti's financials are really one of the better financials that we've seen across all the quantum computing. So let's take a look here again. The only thing that's a little bit concerning is our net income, negative 14 million. It's not that bad when you think about how much money is probably going into developing this. But at the same time, what is interesting, right? And you can even see their net cash, they're burning through cash, negative 100%. Okay, I get it. It's 398K. All right, is it that much? It's really not all that much cash. They're a small company. So what I mean is this financials, their profit margins are up, their net income is going up. And if you look from 2024 to September, it's not pretty. But what we're seeing is outside of the financials, how many more people are going to try and use Rigetti quantum computing now they're plugged into a business on Amazon and Microsoft, where Rigetti will get compensated every time people use their quantum computers on these big tech companies' websites, and that's going to be a big, if not the big tech companies using Rigetti themselves. And so those things are really great financial models that we're going to see definitely play a role in their next earnings calls. So that's kind of it for Rigetti today. You might say, well, it seems like it's a bubble. I've had those questions. I don't want to say it's a bubble. I want to say that it's a once in a lifetime technological innovation that we've been looking forward to for many, many years. And this is just the start. And what you could see for quantum computing, yes. Will it pull back? Most likely what I just laid out. I mean, just looking at the trend, it could pull back all the way down to $13. We could see that happen. But if you think about the widespread adoption with these companies, just maybe a couple hundred million or a couple $1 billion market caps, when you look at some other companies that are hundreds of millions or a billion or a trillion, how much more value, do they provide compared to these quantum computers that they're going to provide? I think the value is going to be insane. So these companies are definitely on my watch list, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, just a friendly reminder, if you'd like to watch me trade live at market open, I changed our structure again. I'm adjusting for those of you guys that missed the last sale. Basically, StockMate, if you want to watch me trade live, I put it in the description. You can go on the second link down below. There's either quarterly, if you want to get quarterly access to all my recommendations and trading with me, but on top of that, get about 70 plus lessons on my technical, fundamental, and crypto and option strategies. But also, on top of that, guys, you can get it just for not a subscription or anything like that, for lifetime access. That second link down below, and we have a holiday sale there you guys can take advantage of. Hopefully I earned your thumbs up. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.